Good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to our weekly SonRise Project call, where it's always a safe space for all of us who are looking to improve our lives and create a life filled of love and compassion and a mutual desire to heal our children and ourselves. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh, I feel great today, and I'm so delighted to have with us an incredible guest, Iyona Blake, who is a DC-based actor, singer, and recitalist, an educator, a sought-after private vocal coach, and playwright. Iyona Blake is the 2017 Helen Hayes Award winner for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Musical for her role as Caroline Thibodeau in Caroline or Change. Iyona has written plays for children and adults, including Girls of Madison Street, a story about a journey to love, sisterhood, and reconciliation. And she aims to bring mental health awareness and hope with her latest play, Diagnosed. Iyona toured China and Korea, Asia, performing solo and ensemble music, and she performed internationally by joining an impressive ensemble of 9 professional singers on a cultural envoy to Cairo, Egypt, among 12 other countries representing the United States in an international festival of sacred music and chanting, to name a few. I want to hear all about that as well. That sounds amazing. She is the founder of an organization called Her Cause, Inc., which is a nonprofit organization focused on eradicating the stigma of mental health within women and other women of color by promoting healthy living while making hope and healing connections. Iyona also has 3 incredible children, aged 35, 25, and 21. No, I think he'll be 21 or they'll be 21 on Thanksgiving Day, I just heard. That's awesome. So please join me in welcoming Iyona here this morning. And thank you so much for being here to share your powerful journey and to remind us that life is not a performance. That is our
Ooh-wee.
topic for this morning. Yes, ooh-wee is right. So I really want to talk about that because so many of us for so long, perform, 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 and pretend, pretend, pretend. So I want to hear you. I'd love to hear you share a moment when you realized that you were no longer able to perform or put on those different faces and those different roles that you were juggling. I'm going to put you on spotlight
Oh,
for our guests. And then that's my first question. If you could share your story and your journey to where you are today.
well, good morning, and
Good
thank you
morning.
for having me today. It is indeed a blessing to always be a part of a safe space. And I
Yes.
love when you said that. We as women, we are drawn to those places where we can be, seen and heard, and
Mhm.
sometimes just feel the vibes of a safe space for. So thank you for opening your doors today to this safe space.
Yes.
I have been performing since I was a young girl. I have, been in church, singing in the choir, the music ministry, the music staff since I was 11, 12. Went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts,
Mhm.
went to Shenandoah Conservatory, um, you know, lived a life as a performer. As you shared in my bio, I've traveled the world, and I've been off Broadway. And I, I was um, at a time of my life where my husband and we separated. We're back together, so no tears this morning. Um, and we will celebrate 25 years in July. And we were having some challenges, and we were having challenges in our marriage as parents. And I moved out, and you know, I am very transparent in my journey. You know, the church folks, my family, everybody was up in arms about it, because of course the woman never leaves. And so I got an apartment down the street. Our children, lived between two homes for that period of time. And my career was at its high. Well, one of the highest peaks of my career. And this particular time, I had the role of Lady Day, formerly known as Billie Holiday.
That's
And
amazing. And I can see that actually. I just have to say
yes,
that. But go ahead.
she and I, we're best
Amazing.
friends. During
Mm,
that journey, she and I discovered that we have so many similarities, so
hmm.
many common grounds. No, I've never been an alcoholic, or a drug addict, but that wasn't my drug of choice. But definitely seeking the validation of love in all the wrong places and all the right places. And so, as I did the one woman show, Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill for 6 shows a week, and one of my good friends asked the question, "You're doing such a great job, but how are you putting her to bed at night?" And so that was my Oprah light bulb moment when I was just stunned by the question of, oh, I am not putting her to bed at night. I am going to bed with this role. I am going to bed with our struggles. I am waking up with those struggles. Um, and I'm bringing her into my marriage. I'm bringing her into my relationships, my motherhood, all of the above. And so is what I always try to hold in the back of my mind as that wonderful question that kind of jarred that conversation within myself to say, girl, this is something that you are dealing with and totally not being transparent with yourself. And so that was a moment that I started my therapy journey regularly. I started I would say, an inward journey that was different than any time before. Um, I found a Black woman who was able to really speak the language with me, as a therapist. We found out that medication was what I needed.
Yes.
Um,
And nothing
to
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Say that
Um,
again.
Nothing, nothing, nothing,
Hmm.
nothing.
Hmm.
And that was a time, Kelli, that I really became truthful with the journey of my mental health, and
Yes.
seeing that my spirituality and my mental health journey could work and could coincide.
Hmm.
So that was a pivotal moment for me.
Hmm.
And I love the topic today. Life is not a performance, because, life for me, my entire life has been a performance. Um,
Right.
but, that pivotal moment was a chance for me to really take a look back and say, okay, how did this get started? How did I get
Right.
on this path? And how do I
Yes.
get off this train fast,
Yes.
and advocate for myself?
And those are the things I'd love for you to talk about, those exact three things that you just said. So how did you get on that path? And
Well,
then, yeah, please start
well,
there.
you know what, Kelly? We as Black folks, we get on that path because of our parents. And
Hmm.
it's a generational thing
Hmm.
that they do unintentional. Perception is everything. And
Yes, yes.
what goes on in this house stays in this house. And,
Hmm.
if I can't give it to you, you won't have it. We don't trust
Hmm.
anybody other than us. And all
Hmm.
of the things that we have inherited through our parents who did the best they could, but you know
Hmm.
they were passed down to us, and
That's right.
as a result, anxiety was birthed in me. Depression was birthed in me from those
Yes,
pressures, those silent conversations I had with myself since I can
yes.
remember. In
Hmm.
2024, we call it something now,
We
but
That's right. It wasn't called anything back
it
then.
wasn't
That's
called
it.
something then. It was called the blues. It was called
Yes.
Girl, Pray About That Thing and Let's Keep Moving. It was
Hmm.
called, you just down. You just
Right. You'll be all
down.
right. Let's go
You
to
be
church.
all right. Let's go to church. You need a hug, girl. Let's go to the
Hmm.
club. Let's find a man.
All those
we gonna
things.
sex that thing out.
That part.
Oh yeah.
That part. That's so true. And I think all of what you just said speaks volumes. And it's so true for our community, how these
Yes.
things are birthed
Yes. I
and
see
at a
somebody
very,
said
very early
yes,
age.
all that.
Yes, both sides, I'm all in the chat, all kinds of loves and emojis and
Hey
those
y'all,
silent
hey.
conversations we
Hey
have with
y'all,
ourselves.
hey. I
Yes.
love that they making me feel like I'm not by myself. I love that. That
No,
good juju this morning. Somebody
it
said,
is
sex it
really,
out, laugh out loud.
that's
Oh,
Dr.
yes.
Me. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that from time to time, but
No.
that's not
Oh,
the
no.
only answer.
It's not. It's not. Oh, yeah. No
And
gratification
someone
in
says,
that one.
no, you are not alone. No, you are not alone.
Thank you,
Yes.
Karen. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. So you were talking about how you looked back and realized that this was birthed in you as a
Mm,
child,
mm,
some of these feelings of anxiety or
yeah,
depression and more. And so then you talked about a little bit ago your journey, how you started this journey to where
yeah.
you are now. So please share more about that. What did that journey look like and entail?
Hmm.
Um,
It was
let's
it
start there.
was it was dark. It was dark.
Mm,
I'm an only child. And so it had its highs, it had its lows.
hmm.
Shout out to my single mom who did the best that she could. But I was always raised just thinking that I was just different.
Mm,
Just very different. And so, I utilize that in my story, in my journey of how I behaved, certain things, created a behavior in me that I didn't know how to articulate. And, some of those I shared. And
mhm,
it manifests in my marriage. It manifests as a mom. It manifests in my relationships with my mom, with my dad, with my
mhm,
husband, with
mm,
relationships with other women. And it wasn't until I was on that alone journey that I started to
mhm,
see patterns that I was making, and really taking that opportunity to really deal with that girl.
yes.
She wasn't happy. She wasn't healthy. And it says something when we get to a part in our lives that we say, you know what? I don't like that about me.
Mhm, yes.
I'm not a fan about that. And, hearing certain things in the streets, and you're like, that. But then when you sit and And you're like, some of that might be true.
Right.
Some of that might be true. And so you're dealing
Yes.
with you, and you come face to face with
Mm-hmm.
you, and some of the things that were passed down, some of the things that we've created, and some of the things that we can change. And
Yes.
so the great thing is that we have the power to grab back that narrative and really create our own stories, because my sister said yesterday, we're breathing, so that means that we still have some work to do. And COVID shifted some things in my marriage. My husband and I reconciled. I started a podcast because everything shut down, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everything that I know that was my moneymaker, my connection, my drug of choice, that applause definitely was a drug of choice. All of it shut
Mm-hmm.
down. And so I really started to dig deep into who I was off stage. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And who is that girl? What is her voice? And
Right.
really being able to highlight that as a playwright, as an advocate. And so that is when Iyona Blake really started to really live and walk in that freedom of, you know what? Yeah, that is me.
Yes.
I am that weird girl. I do have that testimony. I have come from that. That did happen to me. But guess what? That's not the end of it. And so,
Right.
Kelly, my journey now is to reach back and pull those girls back, saying, "Come on, girls, we're going to do this thing together.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we're going to do this thing together." And, it just so happened to be the platform of mental health.
I love it. I love everything you said. And you have so many nuggets that you just dropped. I think the biggest thing is the power to author our own story.
Come on.
And starting today with
Come
whatever
on.
that is, we have
Come
that
on.
power to
Yes,
choose
we do.
however we want to walk in the world.
Yes, we do.
And that's what I hear you saying. You
Yes.
mentioned reframing. I think that's
Hmm.
what you said,
Yeah.
reframing our
Yeah.
stories,
Yes.
because it can be a certain way up
Hmm.
until a certain way. And
Yeah.
then you had that light bulb moment with
Oh,
Oprah.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
whenever that light bulb goes off, whenever it goes off, there's an opportunity to pause and get still and
Yes.
reflect and then reframe, as you said. And the
Yes.
freedom of being
Phew.
me, as
Come
someone
on.
put in the chat,
Come
Vicky,
on.
that freedom of being me is so
Shh.
powerful,
Kelly,
right?
girl, listen, I was so ashamed. There was a
Mm,
time that you know, nobody knew it because I'm going to be me, but on the
right.
inside,
You weren't
girl, I
struggling.
was
Yes,
crying. I was
yes,
ashamed. I was embarrassed.
yeah.
They are talking about me. And I mean, just the mental battles that we go through within ourselves.
Mm,
And one day I just woke up and said, "Oh, okay, so listen, what we're going to do is we're going to embrace that. We're going to embrace that. We're going to grab
mhm,
that. And we're going to put it all in this bubble called freedom." We're going to
mhm.
put it all in this bubble called freedom. And we're going to grab this narrative and say, you know what, that might be true, but that was
Yes,
her, but.
yes,
And
yes.
so I think that within this safe space that we are creating for our sisters, Kelly,
Mhm.
we just need to know that, yeah, bad things have happened. We have our stories, we have our testimonies, but they were
Mhm.
created, those things happened so that we could grab our power back and live in
Yes,
that freedom to go back and save some others. It's important. It's important.
yes,
I'm not perfect.
yes.
God knows I've made some mistakes. And, some of the things that they said, I did do it. I had a ball. However, I'm different now. And so
Yes.
somebody said, and did.
Yes,
But now, the
absolutely.
older we get, the more
Mm,
responsibilities we have. We have a responsibility for the younger generation. We have a responsibility, first of all, to ourselves.
that's
That
right.
should have
That
been
part
number one.
first.
That's
That's right.
one. That's
Mm-hmm.
one. But our
Mm-hmm.
responsibility to ourselves is to say,
Mm,
I'm not okay. I've been walking
right.
around with this mask, playing this role for
Right.
so long.
Right.
And she got me here, but it's not but
Now it's
so
time to
much.
elevate. You
It's
can
not but so
elevate.
far she gonna take us, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And there's that pivot. I love what you said. I want to read this article. There's an article titled The Black Woman's Path to Emotional Healing
Yes,
by
yes.
Iyona Stephen. And
Uh-huh.
she writes vulnerability in the mind of a powerful Black woman puts her at a higher risk of being
Yes.
wounded or exploited. Therefore, she keeps her guard up. She has
Mm.
a hard time trusting others. She can't let go of control or share her most private thoughts with someone. Besides, she doesn't want to bother anyone else. That's that one, that part. She doesn't want to bother anyone else with her concerns because they're dealing with their own issues and their own lives. So the question I have is how do we create a safe space or a self space for people to feel safe and to be authentic and to be vulnerable? Because that is something that most of us don't know how to do and to relinquish control.
I spoke, facilitated a women's conference a few weeks ago, and that came up talking about
Mm-hmm.
how is it that we have these circles with women,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not safe spaces. We brunch, but they're not
Right.
safe spaces. We're depressed, we're committing suicide, we're having these downward spirals at home. Nobody knows
Mm-hmm.
about it. We show up to the brunch, we show
Yes.
up to the functions, fully beat, fully present on the
Yes.
outside.
Yes.
But we as sisters, we're not creating that safe space. And
Mm.
so that means that we're not doing the work on us. And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
we have to be real with ourselves to say, the sisters don't see me as a safe space because
Mm.
I run my mouth. The sisters don't see me as a safe space because everything that she tells me, I go and tell someone else. The sisters don't see me as a safe space because I'm low key judging her. And so until we deal with those facades, those people that we really are on the inside,
Mm. Mm.
we're never going to create a safe space. We're going to continue to pretend. We're going to continue to,
Mhm.
just deal with our sisters surface level. And we're going to continue to see women hurt. And
Right.
so I believe that there is a brave, courageous group of women being raised up right now that don't mind being transparent, don't mind saying, girl, let's talk about it.
That's right.
Don't even put that bra on. Just come over. Let's sit and have some coffee. Let's sit and have some tea. And you need to cry about it. Guess what? I'm not even going to say a word. Just come on over.
I
We got to
love
build
that.
that back up. We got to build that
Yes.
back up. We got to build the trust in our sisters. We got to build it back up because y'all, we all we got. Y'all better
We are
look on
all
the
we got.
news. Y'all
Oh,
better check the
absolutely.
stats. We all we got.
Absolutely. 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 There's mm,
Somebody said
being
it
the
may
safe
require
space.
changing tribes. Come on, sister.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody
So
braless. Come on,
wouldn't
safe
that be
space.
something? Wouldn't that be something? That would be fantastic. Every level of fantastic. She says, burn them.
Burn
Yes,
them,
all
every
of them.
last one
That
of
would
them.
be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. So I love this notion of being, creating a safe space for others and
Yes.
for ourselves. But I love what you're really leaning into is like being that place for
Yeah.
anyone and everyone
Yeah.
to come and share and be open. And
Yes.
so the next question is, as you're doing that and you're creating all these safe spaces and you're becoming a safe space for others, how do you create boundaries?
Mm.
Because sometimes, if you are that go-to person to help
Mhm.
people, or, I have many mentors and big sisters on this call, and I wonder, how do they refill their cups and how do they
Yeah.
set boundaries?
Yeah.
So, how do you do that?
Well, it's a work in progress. I'll be transparent
Mhm.
because I am that go-to. I am that overachiever. I am that type A. I am the
Mhm.
one that has to come out the gate swinging first.
Mhm.
My therapist and I are working on um, finding realistic, practical times in the day
Hmm.
that I can carve out for me, whether it's five
Ah.
minutes. And it's been working.
Mhm.
I'm working on not filling up the schedule without putting Iyona on that schedule. And so it sounds so practical. It sounds so, whatever, but we have to take care of ourselves. I can't be a safe space for everybody else without being a safe space for me. And
That's
so,
right. Mhm.
if I'm sinking and my tank is low, I can't really be authentic and show up in my most authentic way for my sister if at night I'm, trying to figure out
I
how
love
did we
that.
get here.
Yes.
So I am working on daily practical, um, my to-do list, my
Love it.
calendar for the day, making sure that, I'm old school. I write down my calendar in a book.
Me
Don't
too.
judge
I
me,
have my
y'all.
Franklin planner since 1991. It is
Come
right
on.
here.
Come on.
1991. Same thing.
And so I
Uh-huh.
am looking at the schedule and I'm saying, okay, I don't see my name on this at all.
That's
That's a
so deep. Most
problem.
of us don't. I had to sit here
Yes.
going, what a wonderful piece of advice, because I've never done that.
Listen, and so it's I love to swim. My goal is twice a week
Mm,
to be in that pool.
mm,
Whether it's a walk, whether it's just 5 minutes of, okay, I just need to just sit here and close my eyes and
mm.
just get
Yeah.
myself together and just breathe it out, just breathe it out. And so yeah, that is building
Mm.
boundaries within yourself, building
Yes.
boundaries to say, okay, girl, this is what you haven't done for yourself. It doesn't even have to look like a manicure, honey. We're talking about 5 minutes of
Mm.
quiet time. Inexpensive. Peace.
Simple. Peace,
Simple.
quiet, praying, journaling, walking, like you said,
Yes.
anything.
Get in that
I
bath.
love
Put that
that.
Epsom salt in that bathtub, girl.
Mm.
Soak it out. Move out that tension.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
I love
yes.
that. Someone said schedule, put my name on my calendar first.
That's it.
That is a paradigm change
Come on.
because my
Soak it
list has
out.
1,000 things
Hmm.
for everything else I'm supposed to be doing.
But we can't do that
Hmm.
as wives and mothers and caregivers. We can't do it. It's impossible. It's
Hmm.
impossible. I mean, it is a ship ready to sink any moment,
Yes, every time.
any moment. And you trying to
Hmm.
figure out why you got on the road and you didn't cuss out the first person that blew the horn. Girl, because you are uptight.
Yes, we have to take it off. And people
Yes.
have breaks. We get to that point you talked about at the beginning, the
Mhm.
performance mentality
Yes,
and
yes.
always being on all the
Hmm.
time. And
Hmm.
sometimes you just need to let it, like, take it all off
Just take
and
it
just
off.
be real.
Just be real.
Much
Hmm.
more peaceful that way.
Yeah, I like to ask folks all the time,
Mm-hmm.
fill in the blank. I am a strong woman. I say Black woman
Mm-hmm.
on the outside, but on the inside, I am and I
Mm.
need. And
Mm.
so I try my very best to start the week off by saying,
Love that.
what do I need? What do I need?
Mm.
And, you know, it may change by the time Friday gets here, but the goal is that I sat down to be real with myself, to take the mask off and say, okay, I need to drink more water this week because I need
Mm.
to take a walk this week. I know I scheduled all of these meetings, but one of these meetings have to come off so that I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. And I wrote that exercise that you just gave us in the chat because I think that's really fascinating.
Come
Writing
on.
down what you are on the inside, like we have this outside
Hmm.
persona,
Yes.
but then who are you on the inside?
Ooh.
And that's a really interesting challenge to write that down. And then the second thing you said was, and I need.
And I
Your
need.
need was, I
Hmm.
need to drink more water.
Yeah.
And I wrote down more of an esoteric thing, but it's
Hmm.
truthfully what I need. You
Come
know what
on.
I'm saying? I think that's a
Come on.
wonderful thing for all of us to do. It's an
Yeah.
easy thing to do to take a pause and really think about that and write it down, jot it
Yeah.
down.
Life is not
Because
a performance.
not at all. That is the most incredible. And I think, many of us are parents here. All of us might be parents.
Mhm.
And that is the biggest discovery and learning that we have had here together in this past almost 5-year journey is that getting rid of the notion of having our kids be performing all the time, whether it's the great grades or the sports or the
Mm.
dancing or the cheer or whatever it is, it's this, putting them on all these things to perform, 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 perform. When
Mhm.
they're little, sometimes they start as 4 years old, 5 years old,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
performance mentality.
Oh, yeah.
So the quicker we can get them off that path and into a space of just living, just being. I'd love for your
Well,
thoughts on that with as it pertains to your thoughts, your notions, and how you dealt with your children.
Kelly, as my husband and I are on this empty nest journey with
Yes,
our last child in college,
yes.
third year at Morehouse. Amen.
Congratulations and amen indeed. Yes,
Woo-wee.
yes,
It
yes.
is a different relationship with them um, as young adults. And so you get to see just how much they've listened and they've picked up the good and the bad. And our children are overachievers. Where did they get that from?
Right,
Right?
exactly,
Where did they
exactly.
get that from? I was mindful not to put them in 100 activities, but the ones that they were in, you know, give it your best. We're going to show up because that's what we do. Don't you go and embarrass me.
Right, we've all said that, but what does that really mean?
Come on, come on.
What
We're
does that
passing
really
down stuff.
mean?
We're
That's
passing
right.
down phrases. We're passing down a whole bunch of stuff.
Right. That's
Be
right.
mindful of your neck. Yes, yes. And so
Mhm.
I am having to remind my son often, um, and all of them, they know that I have this saying that says, take time to enjoy life.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
know that that is one of mom's quotes. Take time to enjoy life. Nothing is that serious. Nothing is that important. Take time to enjoy life. If that means shut that phone down, if what do you need right now to be your best self. And sometimes, yeah, you're an A student, you're on the dean's list, you're on the honor roll. It looks amazing. However, I'm more concerned about you as a young man. And so, what does that look like? This week, I looked at him and said, I don't like those eyes. You are tired and you need to sleep. You need to sleep, son. Yeah. And, just making sure that, as they're young adults, I'm coaching them. So I'm learning how to
That's right.
coach them.
That's right.
My daughter, she's a dancer. She lives in Denver, Colorado. She dances professionally. And so, what did she pick up from her mama? Anxiety.
Mhm.
And
And being on a
so,
stage all the time, is that?
oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Mhm.
So, really seeing myself and saying, ooh, I put that in you. Yikes.
Mm.
Ah.
Mhm.
So, it's in
Mm.
the undoing,
Yes,
excuse me, that I'm just
undoing.
like, okay,
Yes.
so this is what I see. This is what I've passed down. And
Yes.
being very honest with her and saying,
Mhm.
I showed you that and I'm sorry.
Right. The apology, that part, that's so deep. Being able to apologize.
Mm-hmm,
That's really deep for our children, I think, too. I
mm-hmm,
wanted to just quickly pause and ask a question about your
mm-hmm.
son that's at
Sure,
Morehouse.
sure.
Did you talk to him recently, or did he bring up recently the really tragic situation about those two young men that died by suicide? Recently. Have you had a conversation? Because I was wondering
Oh,
about when you
yes,
commented about his
yes,
eyes.
yes.
Was that part of
He,
it?
yes. Well, and Kelly, the week before that, because we go down every year for
Mhm, mhm,
I showed you that and I'm sorry, I saw that in the chat.
mhm,
The week before that was homecoming. We go down every year.
mhm. For Spell House, yeah.
Oh yes.
Mhm,
A young man in his I was about to say grade, in his class died the week before those two.
I did not
Car
know that.
car accident. And
Oh god.
so my
Mm,
son's on the SGA, and so
mm,
they had to help pack up that brother's room.
mm,
And so then after that
mm.
was the first young man.
Right. I saw the post. It's
Uh-huh. And
just all of
then
it's tragic.
so what I praised God for was my son who said, I think I need to talk to someone.
Mm, mm. That's
And
good for him.
I stayed up half the
Mm,
morning
mm,
looking at everybody's link that I could send him.
mhm,
And the next day he was like, okay, so how do I do this? Because yes, I make appointments for everybody in the house. That's a
mhm.
whole situation, ladies. Don't talk
I
about
think
me.
that's what we mostly do.
Right.
So,
And
mhm,
so I worked with him to go to the websites and, how do we make an appointment
mhm.
for, look at this. Is this company good? Is this organization good? We were finding therapists that, were tailored just for Black men in Atlanta.
Yes.
So we've been doing that for the past week or so. But I sent out a text to everybody that's in his village, godparents, uncles, aunties. This is what he's dealing with. I need you to call my son and check on him
Yes.
within the next week.
Yes.
I send
Yes.
it, I mean, copy, paste, copy, paste. This is what's going on down there. And of course,
Yes.
that prayer life as mama,
Absolutely.
woo,
Absolutely.
intensifies
Yes.
double. You
Mhm.
want to talk about a church mama? I will turn into a
Mm.
church mama, a superhero, all
I
of the
love it.
above when it comes to them babies, okay?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes, he had to deal with it. And as
Mm.
SGA last week, when the
Mm.
second happened,
Yeah.
the brothers they were going around knocking on doors, checking on the other
Mm,
brothers.
good, good for them. Good for them. It's a lot in this world.
It's a lot
And
in this world, sister.
mhm.
It's a lot
Well,
in this world. And that's why we as women have to make sure that we are grounded as much as we can, as we are reaching
mhm.
out to those safe spaces, that we are
That's
creating
right.
those self spaces, self, I keep saying self spaces. I don't know what that means.
I think that's intentional, which I
Come
love.
on, come on.
Self space and
I'm
safe
like
space.
self space.
Uh-huh.
Woo, she just keeps coming up. Self
Yes,
space, self space.
yes,
Woo.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I don't know what that's about. And I'm thinking it's my tongue getting tied, but I'm like, no, no, no.
No,
I think that's an intentional thing. Come on.
self space.
Created via
Love it.
her cause. Come on, self space.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, just creating that platform, that space for us as women, because we need it for our children.
That part, and that's the link I'm so happy you said. We have to be
We
good
need it.
first because when things like that happen, or when you see it in your son's eyes
Hmm.
and you're like,
Hmm.
something's not right,
Something
and
ain't
we
right.
see it,
Because
you're
I'll
able,
be on that plane in a second.
absolutely,
I'll be
absolutely.
on that.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's some steps that I got to do on my end for
Yes,
me, because he can't
yes,
see worry in me.
that's right.
He's not going to come to mama because he know mama got a lot on her plate, because they
Mm,
going to look after mama now.
that's right.
And so we have to make sure that we are taking care of us, so that we are able to be that village for others. But it starts with us. It starts with us.
Starts with us.
Mhm.
I
I'm sending you a hug,
um,
Kelli.
oh, thank
I'm
you. You
sending you
feel
a
that
hug.
and see that.
I felt it. I'm sending you a hug.
Thank you.
So get it. It's nice and
I
warm.
receive it. I
It's nice and
receive it.
warm. Catch it.
I'm catching it right
It's
now.
a virtual hug. I felt
Thank
it that you
you.
needed it. So I'm
You
sending
felt it.
it
I
your way.
did. Appreciate
Somebody else
you.
needed to
Thank
catch it
you.
too. So
Yes.
virtual hug right up in there for all of you.
Yes. I take it. I receive that so much. Thank you. You know, I saw something yesterday. I don't remember who sent it to me. It's probably somebody on this call. I don't remember. But it's on my heart right now, and it's really deep. And based on what you're talking about, I think it's so deep. It says maybe the journey is not about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming
Whew.
everything that isn't really you, so that you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. It's just,
Now
it's not
that right
about
there,
becoming anything.
I felt an organ up underneath that quote.
You said an organ. Oh God, you so
Woo! I
crazy.
heard A flat up underneath that, and I
Mhm.
heard the ancestors moaning on that one.
Yes, yes, yes. And I
Woo!
see your actor skills right now,
Shh.
because it is
I felt
all of
it.
your body movement.
Woo!
Yes, but
Mm.
isn't that interesting? Everything
Read
that
that
we
one
were
more
taught.
time, sister.
It says maybe the journey is not about becoming anything. Maybe
Mm.
it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you,
Take
so
it
that you
all.
can be who you were meant to be in the first place. And the person's name is Paulo Coelho, who wrote it.
Take it off. Take that mask
Take the
off.
mask
Take them
off, the cape
lashes
off,
off,
all of it.
girl.
I just took off my lashes this morning, ironically.
Mm.
It's just deep though, because that is, I think, the journey to all of us. I just became Kelli Joy again, which is who my dad named me after 57 years. And that's been a journey, a real wonderful journey, but it's all about that unbecoming all of the
Mhm.
things and all of the titles and all the stuff,
Mhm.
all of those things that don't matter at all.
Don't matter.
And just being true to like, who's the little girl that you were born to be, that God created you to be? That's the key, I think. Mm,
Ashe. Mm,
mhm. You've said so many amazing, wonderful things. I want to make sure that if anyone has a question,
come
you
on.
want to come off of mute, you can hit *6 on your phone, or you can put it in the chat if you feel more comfortable that way. But Iyona is a gift and a blessing. And if you have anything you want to ask, she is an open book, as she shared with me this morning.
Yeah,
Please share. If you have a question, feel free. People are just soaking it all in
yeah,
this morning.
yeah. I
Yeah.
um I am I feel rich in this moment. Thank you. I feel rich in this moment.
I like that.
Ah,
I do too. That's so
I feel
deep. I feel the
rich.
same way.
I feel rich in this moment.
Thank you. Every week, there are moments like this, and that is the blessing of this space. We could
Yeah.
choose to be anywhere in the world every
Yes.
day, but
Yes.
the beauty of being here for this 55 minutes or so, as we
Yeah.
typically start about 9:05, it's a wonderful thing. It's a gift. There's a
There's a
question. You
question.
see that?
I do. What has been a lesson you learned in life that you didn't know you needed until it arrived?
That's a great question.
Oh, Candace.
Mm, mm,
I'm going to say this without crying, Kelly. You ready?
mm-hmm. Yes.
I needed me. Woo! And I didn't know that I needed her until she arrived. Woo!
Wow.
Wee!
I feel I need the Kleenex too. Wow. Mm. Someone said, girl, you made me almost throw this laptop. That part.
I was the lesson.
Wow.
It was me.
Mm.
Woo! When
Oh,
she
that's
showed
so
up, I
sweet.
said, whoa,
Yes,
whoa, where have you
that
been,
part.
girl? Where you been
That's a whole
hiding?
sermon. Mm.
Woo! It was
Mm.
me.
Mm.
I
I am
am
the
the
lesson.
lesson.
That's right, Dr. Vicky. Everybody's saying they're cheering up. That's it. Mm. 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 Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. So I look for my little joy tissue packs. I'm looking for my little tissue packs. Got some right here. Wow, that's so
Yeah.
without shame or guilt. I
Without
love
shame or
that.
guilt. Come on.
Yes,
Come on.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Me. So
Yeah.
many people are typing that. That's amazing. That's a great, 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 great
That was the
comment.
first thing that came to mind, Candace. It was just like,
Mm, mm,
yeah, the craziness of it all, right?
yes.
We spend so much time, Kelly, as we were talking about. I mean,
Mm,
I needed my foundation. I needed a
all of
lash.
it. The
I needed
lashes,
my
yeah.
wig. I needed
Mm-hmm.
them shoes. I needed
Mm-hmm.
that man. No, no, the person missing was me. Ooh.
And mm, wow. Is that what is your play about that? I know you wrote a couple. Oh, there's a hand up. Let me make sure I acknowledge. It says, I'm Taylor. You can hit *6 to come off of mute.
Come on.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
good
hear you. Good
morning.
morning.
Hi, thank you so much. I was just curious to know, like, how long did it take you to, I guess, like, learn your lesson with yourself? Because I'm
Mm,
in that process right now. I just turned, well, not just turned, but I'm 30, and I hit that mark where it's just like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? So it's just like, I guess, how long did it take you to get to where you are, where you just feel comfortable with everything about yourself and like, you know,
what is your name, sister?
Taylor?
Hi, Taylor. Good
Hi.
morning. Thank you for that question.
Mhm.
I will be honest and transparent, Taylor, and say I think that's the joy of life that as a woman, we're going to always be learning that question. I think the day that they dress us up in, that terrible wig and put that horrible lipstick on us and lay us in that casket is going to be the day that we're done discovering. I think, when you said you were 30, I thought about who I was at 30. And, I just knew I was a badass and I just knew I was this. Girl, Taylor, I cut off my hair. I mean, like this, I've gone many stages of my hair, but I'm talking about I got a boy cut when I turned 30. I threw away all these clothes. I did this. That's when my marriage started getting rocky because I was like, ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. And then when 40 happened, I changed into somebody else.
Wow.
So saying all that to say, not saying that, you're going to probably be as crazy as Iyona Blake, but it is a story that is always evolving, is always growing. I am a gardener, and a part of my safe and self space is in this new season is gardening. And Taylor girl, I'm learning so much about vegetables as it pertains to me. And it is the craziest thing, but vegetables in my 40s are teaching me how to love me. Vegetables and flowers, girl. I'm like, what in the world? I know that at 30, I wouldn't have known that though. Okay. I know that in 20s, if it would have slapped me, I would have called it something else. So saying that to say, Taylor girl, it is going to be a journey with you as Taylor, learning Taylor. And don't go through the change, girl. Listen. So here we are with this new cut because the change has hit me and I don't want braids. I don't want nothing on my neck and da 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 da. So Taylor, you've signed up for this journey with Taylor, and you're going to be discovering who she is and learning what she needs, what she doesn't need every step of the way. The question is, are you going to be open to listen to her? Because she's going to always be telling you, I don't need that. That ain't good for me. Girl, I need that again. And it ain't always about the D. Let's be clear. It's
Right.
about what do you need for you to be a better Taylor. I hope that helped.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Love you, girl.
That was fantastic. A really great answer. And Taylor, I would encourage you to, someone just said, just keep living. 30 is
Woo!
such a beautiful, open time to
Yes.
explore. So
And
just
it
keep
doesn't have to
living.
be terrible.
Not at all.
No,
And
it can be
yeah,
beautiful.
absolutely. And
Learn
it's
from
life.
me.
Exactly.
Woo! Somebody was supposed to grab me by the hand, Kelli, and say,
Yes.
you look crazy and you need to come on over here and stop this.
I love it. Oh, I love you so much. It's amazing. You are amazing. I want to just say this. You have been a blessing and a
Thank you.
gift this
Thank
morning
you. Thank you.
for all of us. And
Thank
I would
you.
love to have you come
Ditto.
back at some point. Would love to
Call me
meet in
anytime, girl.
person.
Call
Love you to
me
death.
anytime.
Oh, I want to also encourage Taylor and everyone else on this call to join us on the third Wednesday. This Wednesday, actually coming up, we
Mm.
have something called Sisters Unfiltered. It is for
Ooh,
Black women 18 and over, and it's similar to this with Dr. Vicki Johnson, who hosts that, and it is an amazing space. So it's
unfiltered. That's my
free.
type of
It's
party.
yeah, Sisters Unfiltered,
Do we come
Wednesday,
with our bra
7:30.
on or off?
You can leave it off. Off is fine. Everybody can leave it off. It is all good. It is right here on Zoom. You don't need lashes. You don't need makeup. You don't need your face beat. None of that. Just
Come
come
on.
in your robe. Sisters Unfiltered.
Yes.
It is what did you call it? A self space with Dr.
Yes.
Vicki Johnson, and it is phenomenal. So there's a link to register in the chat, or you can go on the website at the sonriseproject.com. It's also there, but it's free of charge with amazing
Nice.
people
Nice.
coming together. So that's this Wednesday, and it's always
Very
the third
nice.
Wednesday.
Very nice. And
And
if I may,
please,
ask you ladies to go to hercause.org,
absolutely.
partner with us. We
Yes,
are a 501c nonprofit organization geared toward providing increased access to mental health resources for BIPOC
love it.
women. And so yesterday we had our 5K walk, and May we're getting ready
Oh,
for our conference. And it is a safe space for us as women to collect resources for our mental health. And so
yes.
follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. We have resources on our page for women who may be dealing with life, mental health conditions, ways to pair with, different articles, and to stay in touch with her cause, hercause.org. And yeah, link up with us.
Thank you for that. And I put it in the chat, and
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
absolutely will donate. And I love what you're doing. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
You're
starting
stuck
that.
with me. You're stuck with me, Kelli Joy.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to be stuck with you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you,
in this
Iyona.
together. We're speaking the same language, just a
Yes,
different
we
platform.
are. That's it.
A
All,
different
and the
platform.
more the better. The more the
Yes.
better, because the more help we
Yes.
can create
Come
for
on.
us, the better.
We're linking
I
arms,
love it.
moving forward.
Yes, linking arms and moving forward. I love that. Well, we are out of time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I could talk to you all day,
Yes.
but we will do it again and
Yes.
again. And
Yes.
so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Vicky, who's going to close us out in a prayer this morning.
Amen.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Iyona.
Hey, sister, my big sister.
She's
This was
everybody's big sister. Can I
amazing.
just say that Dr. Vicky is everybody's big sister? She's my big sister too, and love her. But anyway, I
Oh
digress.
my gosh, this was rich. And my prayer is amen. Ashe. So it is. It is
So
so.
let it
Be it
be.
unto each of us. As you have poured into us, may we go out into the world and pour into others.
Yes.
Have a powerful day, everyone. This
Yes.
right here, get the replay, share it, pass it around. This was rich. And I'm so grateful to be connected to both you and Kelli and Dee and the SonRise Project, Her Cause, Soul Wealth. This is just rich. And in the midst of chaos, God specializes in bringing order. And that order begins with connection and relationships. And so he's bringing all who are aligned into community because we cannot do it alone. So go out into the world and be a blessing, everyone. And we'll see you again on next Sunday.
Thank you,
Peace.
Dr. Vicky. Thank you.
Thank you,
Love you
Dr.
all.
Vicky.
Love you,
Love you,
Dr. Vicky.
Kelli.
Likewise. Have a beautiful day,
Yes.
everyone.
Take
We'll be
care.
back next Sunday.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.